Virahaka Tarua Juhava Putri Ditanmayataya Taravo Banedos Tang Sarvabhutaridayam Muni Manatusmi Bhaktya Vinay Aparada Lakshay Chaptasya Kamadi Tarangamaje Kripamaitvam Sharanam Prapadyam Brinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavoivasmi Tavoivasmi Na Jivami Tam Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tam Nayamam Charanantike Angashamalim Chatabirabito Mandi Kritendi Varam Jadyam Jagudarochisam Bhagaratam Patambarasya Sriya Vrindaranya Nivasinam Vedila Saddama Biramodaram Radha Skandani Veshito Jalabhujam Dhyayamadamodaram Dhyayamadamodaram. First I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Asto to the Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Asto to the Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our Param Gurudevs, grandfather gurus, Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees. We've been studying nightly Sri Damodarastakam, which was written by Satyavrat Muni thousands of years ago and recorded by Sri Veda Vyasadev, the compiler of all the Vedic literatures and writer. So, just as a summary, because a couple of you were not here, the previous hearings of Damodarastakam, I'm just going to review the previous verses 1 to 5 that we heard, and then begin 6 with the elaborate commentaries by Srila Sanatana Goswami, and then the commentary on Srila Sanatana Goswami's commentary by Srila Gurudev. So in the first verse, Satyavrat Muni is saying, I offer obeisances to Sri Krishna, the possessor of all potencies, whose beautiful form is the entirety of concentrated existence. That's amazing. Knowledge and bliss. On his cheeks, makara-shaped earrings are swinging playfully. His infinite brilliance shines forth from his most splendid residence, the transcendental abode, Sri Gokula. He was afraid of Mother Yasoda because he smashed the earthen pot of yogurt When he saw her coming, he leaped down from the grinding mortar and ran away. Nevertheless, Mother Yasoda ultimately caught hold of him from behind, for she ran more swiftly than he did. And then in the second verse, seeing the stick in Mother's hands and fearful of being beaten, he is weeping incessantly, rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus-like hands. His eyes are extremely restless and filled with fear. He takes heavy breaths again and again that cause the pearls and other ornaments around his neck, which is marked with 3 graceful lines, like a conch shell, to tremble. O Damodar, you have been bound by your mother's Vatsalya Bhakti, her parental love. So I offer my obeisances to that Damodar. Then in the third verse, by his childhood pastimes such as this, Dam Bandhan Lila, he perpetually drowns the residents of Gokul, his gopas, gopis, cows, calves, and so forth, who are all manifested by his pastime potency. So they're no one other than him. And yet they all have individuality to play together. It's very amazing. So he drowns them all in pools of ecstasy. He thus informs those who have knowledge of his absolute divinity that only the pure and simple love of these devotees of Vrindavan can conquer him. Again, hundreds of times I offer loving obeisances unto Sri Damodar Krishna. Number 4. O supremely effulgent and playful divinity, I do not ask you for freedom from mortal suffering. The fourth of human goals is freedom from suffering in this world. Nor do I ask you for the ultimate limit of freedom, which is residence in the spiritual planets of Vaikuntha, the abode of extraordinary, concentrated happiness. Nor do I seek any other benediction from you, even attaining bhakti characterized by the 9 processes of devotion, even though, as the supreme benefactor, you can easily grant all benedictions. O Lord of my life, may your beautiful form as little baby Gopal in Braj always remain visible within my heart. You're looking over there?
I was looking at Damodar.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Damodar. Good. Number 5. O Dave, your lotus-like face, encircled by soft, blackish blue curly locks of hair that have a reddish glow, is repeatedly kissed by the Gopi Yasoda. May your supremely charming lotus face, with lips like red bimba fruits, always remain manifest in my heart. I do not care about millions of other attainments. And today we're on verse 6. We'll go there for an elaborate explanation after the translation. Namo Deva Damoda Rananta Vishnu Prasida Prabodhuka Jalabdi Magnam Kripa Dristi Vristyati Dinam Vatanu Grihane Shamamagyam Edyakshidresya. O Dave, O you who have a divine form, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. O you who are Bhakta Vatsala, affectionate to your devotees. Sri Damodar, O Ananta, Lord of inconceivably magnificent potencies. O all-pervasive Vishnu, O Prabhu, my master, be pleased with me. I am drowning in an ocean of incessant worldly miseries. Alas, I'm extremely miserable, and I do not know what to do. O Isha, supremely independent controller, please deliver me by the nectarian shower of your merciful glance, and enliven me by becoming directly visible to my eyes. So you noticed that in the previous verses, he wanted the form of child Krishna to be ever in his heart, and now he wants him to be in front of his eyes. He wants direct darshan, means he wants prem, pure love of the residents of Vrindavan. And now Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad's Dig Darshan, Tika, that means the commentary, Dig Darshan, Darshani, the darshan or the vision of Damodar, and the what gives the vision, Bhavanuvad. As you may remember, Bhavanuvad means that the translator's moods mix with the moods of the author, and they become like one. So it's not a literal translation, but it's a translation of mood. His mood is merged with the original author's mood. By the power of his prayers, an uncommon type of prem instantly arose within Satyaraj Muni's heart. And now he expresses his intense longing to see Krishna directly, face to face. In the heart, it could come and go, but if it's direct, it's 24/7. Premanjana churito bhakti balochanena. Those who have prem for Shyamasundar Krishna, they see him inside and externally 24 hours a day. But there's also sense of separation, but there's never any sense of separation. Within his mind, he concluded that the best means to attain direct darshan is indeed Sri Nam Sankirtan, which is what we do every day. And therefore, in this verse, beginning with Namo Dev, he submits himself to his Lord through fervent prayers in the form of Nam Sankirtan. In other words, he's addressing him by his different names. Deva, Damodar, Ananta, Vishnu, like that. One should understand that even though the sage intended to use the word tubhyam, unto you, after the word namaha, to complete the grammatical construction, he left it out, either because of apprehension, reverence, or because he simply lost control of himself due to the prem arising in his heart. Consequently, he was unable to address him so directly. He addresses the Lord, O Prabhu, my master, O Supreme Controller, be pleased with me. In other words, he's explaining what gracious favor he seeks from the Lord if his Lord is pleased with him. The reason he seeks the favor of the Lord is described in the words, Dukkha jalabhi magnam. He said, I'm miserable here in this material world. I'm drowning in an unbroken series of miseries. The misery described here may be considered either the miseries born of material existence in the form of repeated birth and death, or else the suffering he feels by not being able to see the Lord, which is a much more elevated suffering. Such miseries are boundless and are therefore compared to an ocean. He says, Atidinam, tormented by such incessant misery, I'm suffering greatly. Please be pleased with me. So now Sanatana Goswami illuminates further meanings of Atidinam, means I'm the lowest of the low. He indicates, because I am deprived of the support of saintly association, I cannot perform sadhan bhajan. I therefore remain extremely wretched and destitute. Or, although I am somehow still alive, I'm nearly dead because of my intense hankering to see you. It's like a fish in the fish tank, but no water. He's so restless. In the next minute, he feels like I'm going to die in the next minute. So that's how a devotee is when he's actually longing for the darshan of the Lord. Therefore, he continues, Kripa Dristi, please cast upon me your uninterrupted, compassionate glance, which is like a downpour of nectar. In this way, revive me by completely delivering me from the ocean of misery. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami also prays like that to Srimati Radhika in Balab Kusmanjali. Please revive my life by giving me your compassionate glance, letting me see you with your pastimes, with Krishna. And I'm drowning in the ocean of miseries. Please pick me up and put me on the boat of your lotus feet and take me to your abode. Or I am blind and I'm deaf. Please cure my deafness by letting me hear the sounds of your ankle bells. So Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said what? We are seeing now in this world sights of blindness and hearing sounds of deafness. So the only reality of the reality of what to see and what to hear are the pastimes. But the words Adyakshidrisya, the sage explains exactly what gracious favor he seeks from his master. Please become directly visible to my eyes. Since there's nothing more rarely achieved than direct darshan, it would not have been appropriate for him to request it at the very beginning of his prayers from verse 1. This is the reason for the sequence of his prayers. First, he's just offering obeisances, and then he's offering obeisances for a few verses. Then he's saying, so I want some favor from you. I don't want Vaikuntha. I don't want just rules and regulations. Bhakti, I want to see you in my heart. Well, now that I think about it, I want to see you face to face. So he's getting more and more brave to ask this. Regarding direct darshan, with sound logic, Krishna's associates have established how direct vision of Krishna is more glorious than a vision of him within the heart, which comes and goes. But within the eyes means that a person has prem, which means that you're going to be an associate. The excellence of this goal is explained in Brihat Bhagavatamrita, Uttar Kanda. At the beginning of this stanza, Satyavrat Muni addresses the Lord with various names: Deva, Damodar, Ananta, Vishnu. So Deva means, O you whose form is divine, O beautiful Lord. Damodar, O Lord, you are known by the name Damodar because of your exceptional quality of Bhakta Vatsalya. Bhakta Vatsalya ta. Ta at the end of a word means ness. The ness of being. You know what I mean? Like godness. Favorable to your devotee's ness. So that means it's just his nature. So just like we also heard this morning that Mother Yasoda was so determined, I'm going to fast until my son is bound. She's turning different colors. The neighbors are laughing at her. Yasoda, I don't think it's written on your fate that you're going to bind your son. And so Krishna saw her determination, her fatigue, and so he agreed to be bound. He considers, because of his Bhakta Vatsalyata, I too will be able to directly see him with my own eyes. Ananta, O unlimited, endless Lord. Even though he's unlimited and endless, still he has a form. What do you call that form? Medium-sized form. Oh Lord, there's no limit to your mercy. Prabhu, Lord, Master, your inconceivable potencies are unlimited, astonishing, immensely powerful. So, by the influence of your inconceivable potency, you can become visible to my eyes, even though you're beyond the grasp of the senses. You're beyond the senses, and I want you to appear before my senses, before my eyes. But that means, of course, that he would have transcendental senses. Isha, O supremely independent controller. By this, he implies, you are absolutely independent. So you never rely on anyone or anything to exhibit mercy. So since you don't have to rely on anyone else, you can easily give me that mercy, even though I'm unqualified. And O Vishnu, all-pervasive one, or O you who are always inclined to enter the secluded caves and groves of Vrindavan. Here the sage implies, you are omnipresent, so you do not have to undergo the difficulty of traveling a long distance to give me mercy. You're already everywhere. Then Sanatana Goswami reveals another meaning implied by these names. Although you are Ananta, boundless, and Vishnu, all-pervading, you're also Damodar, willingly allowed your devotee to bind you around the waist. Inconceivable. The meaning is as follows. Out of extreme affection for your devotees, there's nothing you will not do. Thus, the sage has indicated that this special meaning is present when the names Ananta, Vishnu, and Damodar are considered together. What is that? Even though you're unlimited, you agreed to be bound by your mother, around your waist, because it's a very tiny waist. The meanings of the remaining names are the same as before. Those devotees who are in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and especially those who aspire for the type of prem conceived by Srila Rupa Goswami, Rupa Nuga Bhaktas, in other words, to become the maidservant of Srimati Radhika, must have the same kind of determination. This determination of the devotee is exactly like the chataka bird. The only water that the chataka bird accepts is the rain water that falls where? That falls, you know what a nakshatra is? A nakshatra is it's an arrangement of stars or a constellation. So when there's a constellation called the Swati nakshatra, and the rain is falling exactly at that time, that's the only thing that the chataka bird will drink. The chataka bird thinks, I don't care if I die of thirst, and I don't even care if I'm struck by a thunderbolt, if that's what the sky wants to offer me, but I'll only drink the water falling from the Swati nakshatra. Similarly, the devotee should think, I only want deep love for Radha Krishna. I don't want anything else. I especially yearn to become a maidservant of Srimati Radhika. May I serve her under the guidance of her intimate friends, her pran sakis and priya narm sakis. That means pran saki is the heads, the leaders of all the maidservants. There's nitya saki and pran saki, and they're both classes of maidservants. But the pran saki is more intimate and the leader. And the Priyanarm Sakis are the heads of the friends of Radhika, like Lalita, Vishaka, and so on. And may I serve her beloved Sri Krishna under her direction, under Radharani's direction. I only want this. I do not need any other benediction. As streaks of kajal, black cosmetic ointment, ran down Damodar's face along with his tears, Krishna breathed heavily out of fear of his mother. On that day, she bound him by her motherly affection. The Lord of all lords, the possessor of all potencies, he who makes the whole universe tremble by the slightest movement of his eyebrows. On that day, trembled out of fear of his mother, he cried, Maya, don't hit me. This is the nature of the immaculate, sweet Vatsalya Prem, or motherly, parental affection, that he gets so controlled. So why are we hearing about this? Because what we want is service to Sri Radha. So why are we hearing about this, especially all month? It's because first we have to understand this. Let's say this is 5, and Radha Dasyam is 10, out of numbers 1 to 10. You have to understand 5 first, before understanding 10. Otherwise, if you go right to 10, you may misunderstand it as nothing, as something else, as some sahajya thing. So first, number 1, we have to understand Krishna as God. And then his relationship with his various devotees, first as in Dasyaras, friendship, Vatsalya Ras, and then only can we understand what is Madhurya Ras. In this meditation, Satyavrat Muni saw how Mother Yasoda was kissing Krishna's cheeks, how his earrings were doing the same, kissing his cheeks, and how his earrings, and especially how the gopis, the young gopis, were kissing him so sweetly. He yearns to see little Gopal directly. Well, I guess when it says here, gopis, it probably means the elderly gopis, because he's still talking about Gopal, little Gopal. Astonishingly, even after such a sweet vision, his hankering is still not satiated. Therefore, he will eventually express an even higher desire in this stanza. He wonders, how can I attain love with Sri Krishna and consequently darshan of Mother Yasoda's darling son with my eyes? It is well known that loving service to Krishna is only attained by chanting his holy names. Therefore, in this stanza, that's what he does. Namo Deva Damodara Ananta Vishnu. Prasida, be merciful. Prabhu. Sita Prabhu Dukh Jala Vriman, I'm suffering without you. In the previous verse, he prayed, may your lotus face in your little form as Gopal, little Gopal, the same form in which you shed streams of tears in fear of your mother, may that appear in my heart. I especially long to perpetually see in my heart your face being kissed again and again by Yasoda. Or by Radha, Sri Radha. May that Sri Krishna, who holds a flute to his lips and attracts the entire world, and even himself, forever appear in my heart. Upon seeing his form, all moving beings become stunned and motionless, and all non-moving things give up their nature and begin to move. But in this stanza, he's wishing to directly behold Krishna. And he's also realizing that without Harinam Sankirtan, it's impossible to realize him face to face. So then, are we already into Gurudev's commentary? Okay. So that's why we're getting all these gopi things. So now he's quoting the gopis. With deep love, Sriman Mahaprabhu used to relish this song performed by the gopis. When Krishna disappeared from the rasa dance, they sung their gopi geet, or song of separation. Tava katamritam tatva jivanam kavibiriditam kalmasapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvigrananti te ye Bodhidajana. O Krishna, we're always suffering in this material world, but just hearing the immortal nectar of your words and the narrations of your pastimes gives us life. These narrations coming from the lips of your pure devotees, this is not a verse of Sri Radha. This is a verse of Radha's, what do you call that? Competitors, Chandravali and her group, because they have a more right-wing mood towards Krishna. That, oh, your narrations are so great. And it gives us life. But Radharani has a whole different thing. Let me read the Chandravali's mood. So these narrations coming from the lips of your pure devotees eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow the ultimate benediction, Krishna Prem, on whoever hears them with faith. Your pure devotees broadcast these narrations, which are full of spiritual beauty and opulence, all over the world. There is certainly no one more kind and compassionate than these souls who distribute the nectar. Stand up. But the gopis were tortured by the pain of separation. They were actually saying, that is Radha's group, the descriptions of your pastimes are not nectar. They're deadly poison. They're not like tava katamritam. They're not amritam. There's mritam. They're like deadly poison. If anyone hears them, their life becomes one of suffering. Poets have sung the glories of narrations about you, but in vain. At first, the narrations seem to be full of charm and sweetness, but instead of bringing joy to someone's life, they plague him with sorrow because we can't attain him. We can't see him. In fact, the people who recite your pastimes are ruining everyone's life, because then we end up like birds in the forest. We leave our family, we leave them crying, we leave us crying, because you're separated from us. Yeah, so it's two different moods. The words are the same. The literal translation is the same, but the moods are different. In this verse, the word Buddhidaha, most munificent, indicates that those who broadcast narrations about Krishna all over the world are the greatest of generous people. However, in divine madness, Divyonmad, which means the wild speeches felt in separation, crazy speeches, brought about by the severe pain of being separated, the gopis spoke to him sarcastically. Just see how these people are blazoning the activities of that black boy. It's like if you say, the horse is flying in the sky. Is the horse flying in the sky? No. It's just a poetry. So when the devotees praise you, it's like that. It's just poetry. They carry a copy of Bhagavatam and they roam around like Sudevi the other day. They roam around the street exclaiming, "We don't want money. We just want you to listen to us. Listen to the Hari Katha." For no charge, they cast the net of Krishna's pastimes over the living entities. These people, now captured, are left to writhe in agony, weeping and wailing. Eventually, they leave their homes, wealth, possessions, relatives, and families, like beggars or like birds. They live without any permanent residence and maintain themselves with whatever meager eatables are given to them by others. Like the wandering mendicant. And they sleep wherever they can, find a place to lie down, like the 6 Goswamis. They spend their days and nights in this way, constantly tortured by the pain of being separated from Krishna. What is it? Hey, how do you start that? Hey, Brajadevi. What? What? How do you? Hey Rad, hey Brajadevi, Chalalite, hey Nandasuno, Kuta, where are you? Sri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale Kalindi Vanye Kutaha. Are you somewhere by the banks of the Jamuna? Are you underneath the Bangsibar tree? Where are you? In this moods of madness, they executed their Krishna consciousness. My dear friend, one Gopi said, those who recite Srimad Bhagavatam, they're not actually to blame. The sweetness of Krishna's lotus face, beautiful form, flute qualities, and pastimes, they're responsible for these calamities. Even just hearing about his sweetness, one will enter this miserable condition. Another gopi exclaimed, "Oh Saki, what to speak of others in this condition? Just look at you. There are no hunters more merciful, more merciless than those who narrate the pastimes of Krishna. Persons who hear their narrations weep. I'm waiting for that. And then they make their families weep by abandoning them." Yet another gopi protested, "Actually, Krishna himself is the greatest of all those who spread this propaganda. He's the one who made us run away from our homes and meet him when he played on his flute. He drove us mad with love, turned us into beggars, and then left us. Who is more ungrateful than he?" When Krishna heard them say all this, because he was hiding, he burst into their midst, crying, "Oh, no, no, I'm not ungrateful. You are my beloveds, and I am yours. I only left all of you to make your remembrance of me more intense. Do you know where I went? I didn't even actually leave. I was right behind you, but hiding, listening to your song of separation. Conversing in the indirect mode of communication called parokshavad. You're saying one thing, but you mean another. Krishna and the gopis relished their praying for each other. From this example, from this example, it's clear that parokshavad, which is common throughout the Vedas, is also employed in the verses of the Bhagavatam. If anyone tries to adopt the moods of the gopis and, hoping to achieve Krishna's mercy, performs Nam Sankirtan, that's the way. Let's get out there more also. With great humility performs Nam Sankirtan, like sometimes we may go out on Harinam Sankirtan and dance in a funny way to get people to dance. So that's not Prem Kirtan. It's good, it's to engage others. And then when we see somebody dancing, then we dance with them. But it's not Prem Sankirtan, that's what we want. Like, okay, externally we can do that, but internally, another world. If anyone tries to adopt the moods of the gopis and, hoping to achieve Krishna's mercy, performs Nam Sankirtan with great humility, humility and prem are one. Krishna will not be able to restrain himself. He will surely appear directly before that person. So if he hasn't done that yet, then there's something we need to do. Remaining conscious of one's relationship with Krishna and free from all anarthas, the sadhak should perform Sankirtan of the holy names that are bestowed upon him by Sri Guru. All of Sri Krishna's pastimes, with their inherent sweetness, as well as one's relationship with him in that particular pastime. That means we're talking about Raganuga Bhakti here, are associated with his corresponding holy names. By the mercy of Krishna's holy names, we're talking about Tanama Rupa, Avtanama Rupa, Tanama Rupa Sukha, Tadi Sakirtananu, that is, living in Braj by mind, thinking of the pastimes that go with Krishna's names, and thinking of my service in that pastime. It is for this reason that Sri Sachinandan Gaurahari, who is absorbed in relishing Mahabhav, Radhika's highest mood, propagated the holy names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're going to end here because there's quite a lot left in verse 6. We'll continue that. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We'll continue tomorrow. Gaur Premanandi, Shri Jashoda Damodar ki jai, Shri Radha Damodar ki jai. Anchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo Gaura. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Gaur Premanandi. Shri Radharaman Bihari Ji ki jai. Kartik Brat ki jai. Shri Damodarastakam ki jai. Do you want us to call you just